In this video, I want to go more in depth about how I actually use the ebook in my live classes. While this discussion is geared mostly to English 101 100 instructors, a lot of what I'm doing can be implemented by any English instructor. We'll cover three main things. Course design and Blackboard integration, introducing students to MindTap, and resources that you can use and share with your students to get technical support. To begin, you must first deep link your course to Blackboard. I'm going to demonstrate this with a live class. So here I have a class that's going to be running in the fall. The first thing I do is I create a content area in Blackboard. So I just click on the plus here, content area, and I'm going to call it eBook Access. And I'm going to make it available to users and submit it. And then I usually drag this up to the top because it's going to be easier for me to find later. It's a shortcut for me as well as for the students to get to things in the course. Now from here, I'm going to go into that content area and I'm going to click on Tools and scroll down to Cengage Learning Mind Links right here. Click on that, and now you see there are a million things. You need to search this. I would type in Wyrick and hit enter. And now you want to be really careful here because there are several versions of this. We're using version 9E. So click on that one. And from here it's going to ask me whether I want to create a completely new course or copy from another instructor's existing course or copy from my own course. If you want to copy from my master, you would use copy from another instructor's course and then use a course key, which I'll be happy to send you in an email. Just copy and paste it right there and verify it and go on. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and copy from an existing course. And I'm going to use the English master that I created here, and I'm going to scroll down and fill in some information about the class. Now the course name is kind of important because it's how Cengage is going to find you if you have a technical issue. So my suggestion is that you use this naming convention. The number of the course, in my case the course number is 51416. The fact that it's ENG101. I would go ahead and put my name in here even though they can find me by my name, and then I would use fall 16 like that so that we know which term it is. The course start date can be any time before the course starts. The course end date, I would run at least a year later. You may want to do it even more than that. Basically, it gives students the ability to get back into this even after your course is over, at least until Blackboard shuts off their access to that Blackboard shell. So I'm going to go ahead and run it out to July 31st of next summer. Course days and times, you can go ahead and fill this in if you want. You can always go back and do it later too. This is Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock to 9:15. And then the section, I'm going to say that this is face-to-face because I actually have online classes running too. And then you need to select your time zone. And you can leave a lot of these blank except for the ones that are in red over here and this red one. Your time zone is going to be GMT 5 Eastern Time. And once you've got all of that set up, you just click continue. Now the very first time you do this, you will be prompted for a Cengage login and password, and this is a one-time setup, as we've said before. After that, any course you deep link to will do just what it's doing here. It recognizes you and it will go on. So now I'm going to complete my link by clicking continue, and here it is. And you just submit it. Now this course is linked, the Blackboard and the Cengage site are linked. Once you have a deep link, your next step is to decide what you want your students to see in the learning path. I'm going to go to a different one that I've done here now. It's one I've set up for the fall, and go to their eBook Access and click in, and this is because I use the new master, this is what I have, but I've added some folders to it. So where you will just start with the ebook and the just in time, and you can decide whether or not you want students to see that one. I've added something for drafts, something for peer responses, something for mastery assignments, and for class prep assignments. And I actually think I want to move this one to be before the mastery and save it. So now my folder's the way I want them. Now that you have your deep link, you got to decide what you want your students to see, and so I created all these different folders, and I can now move stuff into these folders that I want students to do. I've actually got something in the mastery assignments that I'm going to show you here, and I'm actually going to link this back into Blackboard in a second. Right now everything else is blank except for the ebook, which you can leave as it is. So that's how the structure's set up. And then on the Blackboard side, this is what I set up. I've got the ebook access at the top and the home page, announcements and syllabus. I actually want to drag this up. Sadly, you can't drag and drop in Cengage. I've got a place here for class materials, and basically what I'm going to do there is put in any notes and handouts and things. I can show you an example of that in a live class in a minute. And then I have their assignments, and all of these right now don't have anything in them. I'm going to make that Applia, working in Applia assignment, a mastery assignment. So what I'm going to do here first is go there, and I'm going to click Tools again, or hover over Tools, go down to Cengage Learning Mindlinks. Now that it's deep linked, if you click on Linked, the one thing that it is will be there. You just click on it to go in. And now you can see all of the things that are available in the learning path that can come back over to your course. You can, and you see if there's anything in the folder, there's this tiny little arrow here, or triangle, and you can just click on it to open up the folder. You want to do that because if you just click on the folder itself, it might bring something over, but it won't actually have anything in it, and that's kind of stupid. But in this case, this is something that's an assignment, and it can be added to the gradebook. So I'm just going to click that. You can actually do multiples of these if you want to do this, and you also want to put in some other things. You could click a bunch of them and have them all go at once, but I don't want to do that right now. So I have this. I'm going to confirm my selections. I'm going to save it, and it's going to come back over to Blackboard. And now it's going to actually put this into the gradebook because there were some points associated with it. When I click Submit now, here it is. It will import some information about the assignment from MindTap. If you want to add more information, you can edit this, and you can type more text here. You can make the text bigger. You can basically do whatever you want with that. And that's basically how this worked. Now let's take a closer look at the setup and materials I accumulated in a live class last term. So within the class materials and class notes and handouts, I basically posted the slides and handouts for each class as we went along, as soon after the class as possible, to clean things up, and also sorted them into reverse order, which you can do with this set here. To clean things up, I also created a folder at the bottom for prior week handouts and materials so students could kind of see only the last couple of weeks of work. And I also created a technical help place. And this is what was in that folder. Now this contains some handouts and some different things that students can use to try to troubleshoot basic MindTap issues. It includes the Cengage tech support number for them in the hours, and some other things here. And we're looking at making this available to you to copy from an e-community. So I hope to have more about that for you soon. Coming back over here to assignments. Basically, within the assignment space, I differentiated between class prep assignments and mastery assignments. Mastery assignments were due by the end of the course. Class prep were due on particular dates. I administered this one by just as soon as the work was due, whether it was MindTap or not, I went in and filled in a 0 for every student who hadn't done it. And I also in here created a past due assignments place so students could pretty much just focus on the last few assignments that they had that were currently that they were working on. And I also created a reference guide for all of the reading assignments that they had so they could go back and look at this. Now this includes Cengage assignments and other things that I showed for various reasons. I moved these into a reference folder as the due dates for these readings have passed, and that's where you see them here now. They're back in here. I also made a space for students to turn in their drafts and other papers under the papers content area. You can see them in here. I've also got some old papers and things like that. And then I also created a space for students to access the peer responses, the assignments that they got, and some help for that. And then the past due things here again. So that's the basic setup on your end. For this class, I asked students in the 100 class to write weekly reflections on work in English 101, but I did not single out English 100 students for specific assignments in this class. If I had, I would have made an extra content area over here just for that work and allowed non-English 100 students to do it for practice if they wanted to. Now, as you've seen, pulling assignments and reading links over from MindTap is fairly easy. For the assignments, I recently learned a new trick. If you haven't changed the point value of an assignment on the MindTap side, you can actually control how it comes over to your Blackboard gradebook after the fact. Once the link's been created and it's in your Blackboard shell, even if it doesn't have a grade in it yet, you can actually go in here and edit the column. And you can change the number of points that are available to whatever you want. So this one had 35. If I want it to be 10, I could just change it right here. And what's going to happen is when that assignment gets done on the Cengage side, whatever percent of the number of points you've now set, that's what comes over. So if they get 50% of this 35 right, they're going to get 5 points in the Blackboard shell. If you've already got grades present, as I do here, I'm obviously not going to change this now, you would have to go over to the Cengage side and resync just that particular assignment to bring the grades over with the new numbers. So I can show you this if you'd like to see it, and I do my grades as weighted averages, so I regulate this in a different way, and I'm also happy to share that with you. Now, thinking about assignments in general, what I'd say is it's important for all classes, but particularly for English 100, that you make the assignments you choose something meaningful. Do something with the reading or the MindTap activity in class before or after you assign it. A great first assignment is the Intro to Applia assignment, which I just linked a few minutes ago in my one class, and it walks students through the process of working in the program. You can also work through any of these assignments yourself as a preview to see what students will see. As I've said elsewhere, these exercises are good because they mix interactive elements like reviewing concepts by clicking on different areas, and then they have some questions which require some degree of application of the concepts right after. Students do have 3 tries on this, and if they don't get, and they never get the same problem again, they get a new one that's testing the same concept. As I've said before, I set up some MindTap assignments with due dates and some without based on what I'm trying to accomplish with that assignment. Honestly, what I found is about half the students completed the mastery assignment the very last week of the term. But most of those were assignments that really helped them with the final exam, so I considered it good review. Obviously, drafts and peer responses and final papers had firm due dates. Now let's talk a little bit about how to get students working in the program. First of all, tell them to use Google Chrome. Most problems really solve themselves when students report an issue and if you ask them what browser they're using. Internet Explorer is a nightmare. Firefox and Safari work okay for general MindTaps, less well for paper and peer response software, which is a third-party program built on the Turnitin.com engine. If we go back here to the technical help folder that I had earlier, it's in here. In any event, you need to tell them to turn off their pop-up blockers. And let me go back in here now. And this link in the technical support folder shows you how to do that. It basically shows step by step in every different browser how to turn off the pop-up blockers. So that's really useful. I also start MindTap introductions the very first week of class by booking a computer lab if possible and having every student go through the process all at once. I show them this video which talks about how to set up their account for the very first time. And actually, you might want to watch this one too. It shows you how it looks before you deep link your course the very first time you ever do one. I also book labs on the day that drafts are due, and I let them finish formatting their papers before uploading them to the site and starting their peer response work, which they can then finish as homework. It is a lot like herding cats, but patience and calm on your part will reap huge dividends later as students become more proficient and they can help each other in and outside class. Finally, have students call the Cengage technical support line at this number up here during their business hours Monday through Friday. They can also use this link over the weekend to submit a trouble ticket, and a lot of times they will have someone that gets back to them before Monday morning, at least by email. Now again, for English 100, don't try to deep link to the book in English 100, but do have students write some journals in English 100 shell for some graded work on that side. And that is basically it. At Gateway, I'm available to help you troubleshoot something workable for your teaching style. I can also provide you my clean master course copy for your initial deep link in English 101 or 102. And we also have a dedicated rep at Cengage who can help troubleshoot problems with the technical support crew. That's Sally Kirscher. Her email is just for us, by the way, so please don't share that with students or copy her on student emails. You can forward her the emails, though, if that'll help. And we will be working to add everyone to an e-community so that you can copy the tech support folder and other demo videos to your classes as you need them. Please let me know if you have any questions or would like to discuss any of this in more depth. And thanks for watching.